Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Fairhead Farm. This is the beginning of a new series, a series that's going to be quite the challenge for us to navigate through, and we're going to look into what that looks like right about now and walk you through all the details that go with it. It is a sad story that leads us to this situation, but you find us here on the top of the hill at Fairhead. The wind is blowing, there's a storm somewhere, I can't see where it is, but it is going to be a beautiful day. Sun's coming up, it's just after 7 o'clock. It's going to be my first day starting down at the yard today. And we're going to walk through what's going on there. I have been brought in because this farm is in crisis and we need to figure it out. What's happened is that over the course of about 2 years, this farm, under its previous ownerships, the McConaughey's, unfortunately fell into debt. Like most farms do, a lot of different issues. They always have operating debt that they'll work with. However, this farm was not only a dairy farm, but also the base for the arable and grassland contracting business. But unfortunately, the business fell on hard times. Few different issues for that one. There was a lot of their customers in the area apparently ceased farming practices, so they had no more opportunities. But also primarily and unfortunately, the health and wellness of old man McConaughey declined severely, so he's no longer able to run the business as he would want to. What that meant, though, unfortunately, was that this farm fell into, well, a state of silence, really, and it paused, it froze, nothing was happening, but there were still bills to pay, there was still a lot of issues on the farm that weren't sorted out, and the debt kept growing. They had a large fleet of tractors, which all were financed, for the most part. And they were all recurring debts. They had maintenance debts that they accrued over time from building some of these new sheds that hadn't been paid off. And then they also, unfortunately, were hit with TB, so they lost all their dairy herd there as well. So everything spiraled. It was a perfect storm of events there, which led to this farm being stagnant. For want of a better phrase, it didn't do anything. And it has stayed like that for a couple of years. And unfortunately, when that happens, after a while, when the debt's too high and there's no money coming in, the banks get involved because they want to get their money back. So this farm pretty much fell into receivership. I've been drafted in by a company who bought out the debt from the farm, from the bank. And they have hired me in to try and salvage this, really. It is, the bare bones are there and it has a lot of potential. But it needs some work. And I'm going to show you what I mean as we walk around the corner here. You'll see bits and pieces are going on and we're going to touch on all of that very shortly. But we're going to have a look at our loan here and look at where we stand currently. You'll see we have a £567,000 loan, but we don't have any of it to spend. It's all gone. That loan was used as part of the investment strategy to pay off all of the accrued debts. So that is gone. What I have right now in my bank account is something around about the £5,000. So, yeah, I've got £5,000 cash to play with. Now that is there for any basic amenities that I need, you know, just to kind of get us up and running here. But it doesn't leave with a lot. Now, fortunately, there is a way out here. There is an avenue that we can use. I've been asked to, over the next year, to get this farm into a place where there's a competent business plan in place, a robust business plan, and something that will allow us to get this farm moving in the right direction. Get a strong annual revenue coming in there, which we can service at any loan repayments, and that we can allow to slowly and gradually build this farm back up to where it should be. The buildings are all here. The foundation's here in place. It just needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of work, and we need to get that debt down before we can do too much ourselves. So that's going to be our strategy. But what we also need to do is we need money on the farm to do things. We need money on the farm to be you know, buy livestock in that we're going to try and build some of this foundation around. We need to pay bills. We'll need to pay contractors when we need them to come in. We need working capital, and we don't have that. So we need to get that going. Now, I mentioned earlier on that a lot of the equipment was on hire purchase. That has all gone. A lot of the dealerships took that back, as you can expect, because they the hire purchase agreements were forgoed and they were cancelled. So they are all gone. But there are a handful of bits of equipment around here that were owned by the farm and are still owned by the farm, which we took on there. So that is where we're going to start to look to get our capital back, to get a little bit of cushion, maybe pay off some of that loan from the get-go as well, and allow us to have a little bit of a chance to get this working, really. You'll see as we walked around here already, there's a few bits and pieces. This shed, we're going to keep everything here. This is one of the machine shed. There's a little square baler there. This is going to be one of our main fleet tractors. This I for Williams trailer is going to be very important. Look at it. the power. We have got a New Holland TL80. That's one of the 2 tractors that we will be keeping. There are some big tractors left on this farm still. They're not staying. Oh, I won't, probably won't come as a surprise. But originally, when this contracting business was at its peak, I'm led to believe there were 13 tractors, all case, varying different sizes of case. There's still a few big cases here at the moment, but they're all case tractors. There was a Class Jaguar Forager. There was a smaller combine, I believe, as well. A whole fleet of slurry and silage equipment, most of which has gone over, either sold off piecemeal bit by bit, or were kind of sold to try and pay off some of the debts previously. But there are a few things left. Everything you'll see in the shed, pretty much, apart from maybe 1 or 2 things, is going. These last 3 case tractors, technically 3 of 4 last tractors on the yard, these are all the ones that are left here, which are in good condition. They're all going to go. They're all going to be sold. The farm owns these outright. Financing has been paid off on them, so they're all going to go, and they're going to go to an auction actually next week, where we can hopefully see how much money we can get back. But you've got a Case Farm Haul 100C, small little tractor with a front loader, front linkage on. That would be a handy little machine, but too new, too valuable. It's going. You've got a Case Maxim 115 on this side. Again, a bit more power here. A good, very immaculate tractor. They're all looking very, very good. Apparently when everything started to wind down and the last of the contracting employees were left here, they spent a couple of days cleaning everything up and leaving them in good ship shape so they can be sold on or done whatever with. And they've done a fantastic job. And we might look to see, when we get to a point that we can and we need help, we might look to see if those boys and girls are still free, so they can come and give us a helping hand. But that one's going. This one, I believe... Yeah, that one is a really immaculate. They've all got somewhere between about 2,500 and 4,000 hours on the clock, so still plenty of life in them. This gets bigger again. This is a Puma 165. Beautiful tractor. I've never driven one of these. Would love to keep it around, but that's got too much residual value in it for me to keep, unfortunately. That can pay off a year's repayments on the debt quite easily, so it's gone. And hopefully it'll find us a good value there. So we are looking to use old tractors. The second-hand market for tractors is quite strong and healthy, and a lot of tractors are getting bought up by resellers who will take them elsewhere, so hopefully we can tap into that one. I might keep this trailer. We need a good grain trailer. We have on the farm we have about 75 acres of stubble, and it's a bit generous calling it stubble. You'll see why when we have a look at that one. And we'll probably end up keeping one of these 2 tankers as well. You never know what we'll need it for. We don't have any cattle, don't plan to get any at the moment, just come for the cost. But we'll keep one anyway. Never hurts. And then what we'll do is I'm going to try and keep one. And if we desperately need to, we could always look to sell one. But yeah, that's the last of the equipment that they had here. These were apparently used for a lot more just like small little jobs and then hauling slurry around. And then they had a huge big dribble bar system apparently, which went pretty quickly. Over here, you got the feeder wagon. That's going. We've got no need for that. There's some bales of silage down the bottom there, which we'll see what they're like. We might see if anyone needs to buy those, get rid of them. This is a giant big pit here. Now, the Manitou, in theory, we should probably get rid of it. I'm going to hold on to it for now, just to see, because we've got hay to make around the corner. I don't have anything else. So we'll keep that one, and we'll see how we get on and see if it's worthwhile holding on to, or... You know, as we progress through, see if we need to sell that to generate a bit more revenue and buy maybe a front loader for a tractor or whatever. But we'll see. That's an option that we'll hold on to. There's a small little topper there. You'll see that's hanging around. A good arrangement of implements here for the telehandler, so that's always handy. So we'll try and keep all of those as well. Now, the truck that you saw me coming in on, that's mine, so that can stay happily. There's a quad bike in here, which is looking pretty good. So we'll be out and about for driving that one shortly. If you wonder why I know where everything is, I came for a walk around when we were having a look at the job. Little pole barns in here as well. Now, this is the tractor we're keeping. They love the cases. This is an old case. I don't know what's quite wrong with it. We're going to have a peek around and see. I had a quick look there the other day. Couldn't see anything. Apparently, the company who bought out the farm there, I believe they also inquired to see when they were doing their due diligence. And it said it was something to do with the exhaust. But it looks like it could be good now. So we will have a look at and play, and then we'll see if we can use that. But that could be our main tractor for now. Good, strong looking tractor there. What is it, about 140, 150 horsepower? So that can get a lot of work done for us here fairly soon, I would like to hope. And then, yeah, a lot of old buildings here that we won't do much with. The dairy buildings, again, not going to touch those. There's too much cost to get started in dairy operation at the moment, so it's just not worth it. And then we're going to come back through these beautiful sheds. Again, you can imagine these were a scene of activity. Lots of cattle in here, lots going on, but unfortunately not anymore. Now, this shed here, I'm keeping everything that's in here. When we came around and had a look there, we drew up a plan that was to keep what we see here and move. We got something to move all into this shed just so we have it all separate, because I'm going to need a lot of this stuff. Now, again, I'm going to keep it to start with. If we need to sell it, if needs must, then we can look into it and evaluate and maybe like sell that baler. Some good nick is fairly new, but we could look to maybe buy something older if we have to. Another grain trailer never hurts. We've got a mulcher kind of thing there, fertilizer spreader, sprayer, and of course a rake, or a tedder. So that's good. We're going to keep that stuff. The big shiny stuff around the corner here, no, that's gone as well. That is a forage wagon. They used to do box wagons and self-propelled forager silage as well. So they had a lot going on, and I think they even had a couple of wheel loaders to boot with that. But this is all that remains, really. The butterfly mowers by Laley, and then the Pottinger forage wagon as well. They're going to go. I'm waiting for a buyer to get back in touch with me about those, because it's kind of roughly been agreed already, but he's going to come through and check them out and then put it onto a truck and go. So we don't need them. We're going to pick up a smaller mower, just your standard kind of 3-meter mower for the land that we've got, and we'll see how that looks. So that's going to be the plan. You'll see there are some sheep here. We have a handful of sheep here already, and that's where we're going to really look to start to grow our business. We're going to look to do the lamb trade at the moment is looking quite good. Now, you can't really rely on that too much at the moment, but if we can capitalize on it for now, that's exactly what we will look to do. That, and then trying to get the arable side of this farm back up to scratch, because it's really in an awful state, so we need to work on that one. But sheep are looking good. They're happy here. We've got a lot of grassland, a lot of hill land up there as well that we can just stick sheep out onto, and they'll be fine. So that is very much the plan. And we're probably, because we're going to do a lot of hay, going to try and keep all that trail there as well. A few things of logs I need to shift around here, but yeah, that's the idea, to keep hold of that, which would be pretty cool. And then we'll see, but that's where we are. There's a lot to do on this farm. It's going to be a bit of a challenge. It's going to be 12 months where we have to get to a point where we can show, aside from the capital that we'll raise by selling everything, that there's a strong plan and a source of revenue coming in through our activities and operations on the farm. So that's going to be interesting. Is this what was in here again? Another cattle shed. Yeah, absolutely gutted by TV back in the day. The whole herd went, unfortunately. So they left the farm in a real state that they just couldn't get out of. So that's what we're going to look into. Now, what I am going to do, we're going to pick up our quad bike, take it for a wee spin, just to see how we're looking, because there's a few things that are urgently on top of the list here for us. It is June, like I say. So what we'll probably look into, do I have the key for this here? I do. Need to find a bit more of a secure place to leave this in, I think, but we'll worry about that. There you go. It is June, so what we need to do is make sure some of our grassland's in good shape to get a crop of hay off. And then if we can maybe do silage as well that we could sell, possibly, but we've got a few bales that we'll probably just look to sell from the starting point. You can see a lot of these fields have just been abandoned, neglected even, really, and that is quite troublesome. You'll see that, I mean, I'm not even sure. The last people we spoke to about this didn't even really know when that was last harvested, and it's been ruined, really, taken over. So we'll have to get it sprayed off. We'll have to get the a topper in just to work that down, or even that flail mower thing just to grind that all down, and then we can get that going and get a crop of probably barley in to start with, I would say, in the autumn. So there are 3 fields, all of which are exactly the same, unfortunately. And then there's also a couple of grass fields that are in the very similar state. The weeds are just taken over. Some of the rushes have started to come back through as well, which is less than ideal, so we'll have to take care of those. So I want good grazing ground, and I want good hay ground as well, so we need to make sure we can do that. Some of these fields don't look all that bad, but you know, we'll see. Some of them are worse for wear, and we'll have to just see what that looks like and take a few soil samples and just see where we are and where we stand with it all. Really, what have I got to work with? This field, like right here, beautiful paddock there, really nice walls surrounding it, but just shambles. Couldn't make hay out of that at the moment. We'd have to just top it down and then probably start again. It's all gone to head anyway. The grass has long since passed its best, so needs something working on. That field of withered, I think that's a field of wheat that's withered away and pretty much just bird feed right now. Yeah, that's ours, so we'll have to get into that one as well, and we'll have to see. But yeah, lots of different bits and pieces like this. I have a few plans as well for the longer term in terms of how we can add additional revenue. I just need to get the get-go or the green light from the powers that be who control the finances there, because we need to make sure that they're backing it so we can bring in that commitment and move forward. But they have given me a fair free hold on this, just to see what we can do. But first things first is all that lovely equipment that needs to go. And then actually what I'm going to look to do today, because the auction is coming up in a few days, as I mentioned there, and the tractors are all in good condition anyway, so we'll get those all taken away. What I'm going to look to do though is see if we can get that case started, because that would be delightful. But let's go up here first, because I just want to show you the length of the ground. Really, it's beautiful. The view from the top is great, and we're going to really try and leverage this field up here when we can. There's a big old ditch going through it as well, but if I can't, there it goes down that way. And what I want to do is we're going to try and, like I say, raise up a bit more capital, sell everything off there. What I want to do straight from the get-go is actually buy in some more sheep. And you'll see this field has been covered in just rushes and weeds, and it's just all a bit messy, really. But we're going to try and buy in some more sheep to get onto this hill ground here. It just really needs a good attack from... God, you could stick a couple hundred up here with no problem at all. So I think that's exactly what we're going to look to do. There's even a couple of water troughs over there as well, which have been plumbed in. So, but look at the view. It's just magnificent up here. So I want to try and capitalize on that somehow as well. If we get the green light too, maybe that's a future project once we've got the farm running a little bit better. But yeah, we're going to look into that. We're going to try and get ourselves ready to go for lambing in the spring as well. Find a top to get on board here and see where we go. But realistically, the first project is to identify where those grass fields are that we can make hay from. Once we've done that, we can then look to ooh, that was a risky way to come down. Then once we've done that, we can start to get ready for that with a case, get that ready to go. We haven't got a mower, so we need to find one of those somewhere on the cheap, hopefully, and then we'll see. But yeah, that's where we are at. And let's go and see if we can get this case going. I haven't even tried to turn it over there. I mean, it looks good. There's plenty. The oil levels are great. There's got a battery on there as well. So, I mean, you can see how this farm was kind of just left and then never returned to, never touched again, really, because like, how often do you just leave a tractor like that? It's quite sad. If we can get that out of there, then maybe we can get this quad bike into there. That would make more sense. Look at all the beautiful old stone walls around here. Just delightful. All right then. Well, I've got the key for that. Okay. But yeah, some of these buildings here are so old. So much character in them. So we have oil on the dipstick, which is good. We have a battery connection in there, which is also good. There's no oil leaks on the floor. Everything seems to be attached again, so I think we're good. Let's see if we've got any power coming through at least. I do have power coming through. All right. I also have a warning light there though, so that's interesting. Maybe that's what they were looking into. I don't know. Anyway, let's see if we can get it to turn over here. Perfect. It's turning over. It's starting. I like. You and I are going to become good friends. I can just see it. All right. Well, let's see what it does, I suppose. Again, no leaks, no hissing, no steam, no water coming out anywhere. Fan spinning. Sounds good. Sounds like everything's firing. There's no missed valve there. I like what I'm seeing and hearing. I think we'll give it a go. Look, what a classic. They don't make them like this anymore. I'll have to investigate what that light is there, but you've got pretty steady revs. Looks like the fuel is full, assuming that's working properly. All right, cool. Well, let's see. Put it into reverse here. It's immaculate in here as well. It must have been restoring this one. That is absolutely superb. Anyway, out we come. I saw someone sell one of these recently at a huge charity auction, or a slightly smaller version, and it went for a fortune. So we'll just have to keep hold of this and hope that those three over there go for the equivalent fortune. All right. Seems to hold on the brakes as well. I like it. Excellent. All right. Well, I think we're looking good for a tractor at least. So that's all great. The other one, the old small little Ford, turn that one over as well. That is going to be great just to do small little bits and pieces. I think that will be absolutely perfect for us and for our needs. What I might start with here though is, all right, we'll just take it for a bit of a spin around the yard here, make sure everything's looking good, and then we'll probably stick it back in the workshop and just make sure that there's no signs of any more leaks or anything that we should be worried about there. Go through some of these gears on the splitter as well. They all seem to be working at least. Good, good. Now, first thing we'll have to do there is look to get our sprayer on, I think, and order in some herbicide, which I've probably just got enough money for right now. Oh, good. That's good. And then, yeah, we'll have to get going. Fortunately, I have all my, what is it, PA1, PA4, so I can spray all of those off without a problem. Oh, that's a bit of a slope on there. That'll catch you out. Good heavens. So that should be the lowest gear. Cool. Seems to be good. Excellent. So, like I say, we're going to leave that just for a little bit. It's looking good. And hopefully that's going to be able to get a bit of work done. We'll keep it ticking over for a few minutes there and make sure nothing happens. But it seems to be all right for now. Whatever they did fixed it, which is great. I'm going to jump on into the Manitou. I've got all these keys in my pocket, so I just want to make sure that's all well and good. And then grab a bale of hay if I can. And take it over to stick it into the sheep there. Which I think our hay was over that one. Yeah, another great looking telehandler here as well. It's just like, oof. I really want to keep this, but we'll have to see. We'll at least keep it till we get through the summer and see what that's going to look like after that. But, oh, I don't know. Oddly that they had just this, everything else was JCB apparently. They had one Manitou. I don't know what the rationale for that is, but... And then after this, I'm going to go and start looking at a little bit, or some of the options for used machinery, so we can see what's out there for a mower, once we've got everything of ours sold. And just see, maybe the guy who's coming to pick up the butterfly and the forage wagon might have something we can do a bit of a part X on, but we'll see. But this is the... like I say, the last, well, the remaining tractor that we're going to keep here, just small little thing, or just do small yard jobs. If we get ourselves to a position, oh good lord, this is loud. That needs an exhaust. If we can get ourselves to a position which we are viable, you know, I would love to look into an option for a. I would really like to look into an option for another bigger tractor. once we start doing our own groundwork, because eventually if we can get this to work for us, I would really like to do a lot of this ourselves and not have to rely on contractors for some certain bits and pieces. But everyone knows we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, I suppose. But over time it'd be great to kind of add in and take over bits and pieces that we can do, you know, and obviously reduce the reliance upon outside help. And this trailer is going to move somewhere a bit safer because these things are valuable. We're going to need one of these a lot. We're going to be moving a lot of sheep around very shortly, so it's going to be a good thing to have. Oof, brakes aren't as good on that one. But let's run in. It'll do a job for me. The main thing I need. Oh, I got plenty of space going. I'm just going to park it in here. I don't know if at some point they had a whole load of New Hollands and then they just moved to case or not, or why there's a small little New Holland here, but there is, and it's staying. So fortunately, recently I was... Oh, we'll just turn it off now. It's looking good. Again. Doesn't look like it's burning any oil. No drips, no splashes, nothing major. It's still running. Perfect. No idea what that sensor's about. Maybe we'll have to do a bit of digging and see if I can find out what that was. So I'd like to put onto that soon. I've been looking at the weather forecast as well for haymaking. We're looking pretty good over the foreseeable, so we'll have to get cracking with that. See what we can do, and you know, figure out which fields we're going to get into. But that is going to be a plan that I'll have to get onto. I also got half a mind to see if we can be productive at all with the square baler and see if we can sell any small square bales. A lot of value in those for the equine industry. Okay, let's take those two at the back. Alright, we will get ourselves going. So really, there's got a lot to do, but we're kind of stuck for now until we get some money coming in. I'm going to be looking into, like I say, a few different options that we can find out there for mowers and the likes of, but obviously it's all going to be used equipment, auctions and the likes, and we'll see. But we've just got to get all these high ticket items sold and see what that can go for us. And yeah, hopefully that'll give us a bit of a starting point, because there's so much that we need to do. There's so many things that we need to tackle. Some of the fences aren't in great shape either, so that'll be another challenge. Alright, with the net wrap off there, let's just drop those down. There you go. Sheep fed. First task done for the day. Wonderful stuff. Alright, well, we're going to continue. We're going to just get a few bits and pieces done around here. I noticed actually a few tanks of herbicide over there. I want to see if they've got anything in them, because that would be fantastic. I don't have to go and buy any of that, and I can actually get a job done without needing to spend any money, which is going to be very much the MO for this next few days. But we'll see. So I'm going to get going, see what we can do about killing off some of these weeds, if indeed that is the right herbicide that I need, and we'll take it from there. Join me every week as we bring you along for a ride to see what's happened with this, and see where we can make a little bit more progress week by week. If you have any questions, please do leave them down below there. If you'd like to see or have any suggestions as to what we could do to make some extra money and set up a new diversified business range, then of course let me know, and I will see what I can do. Until next time though, I do hope you have enjoyed. I've been Simulation for the Nation. This has been episode 1 of the Real Farm Crisis, and we will see how we get going. Until next time, thanks very much for watching. Do stay safe, and we will see you all in the next one. Catch you later.